Hey everyone, this is Paul Rain, the founder and main developer of ZenGengo. In this video, we're going to go into a little bit more deep dive into the submission settings options offered by ZenGengo. So I'm assuming that you've already created a ZenGengo account and that you've logged into your account and you're looking at one of the folders that you have created. Now within this folder, we have an option called Submission Settings. If you click on Submission Settings, you'll see that there are 4 different options for receiving submissions from students. The first option is to have completely anonymous submissions. This is great if you want to allow your students to have unlimited practice of the assignments that you have created, and you don't really mind or care about who submitted the assignments. You just want to give them lots of practice. So if you can check this option, and students will be able to submit the assignment without logging in or without inputting any personal details whatsoever. We also have an option attached to that option called Purge Submissions, which means that you can just delete the submissions after 24 hours and you can leave that running for as long as you want. The second option is to collect student details on submission. This will require students to input their name. Name is always required, as you can see below in the section here, and optionally you can also require them to input their student ID number or their student email. And you should check this student email option if you want to give feedback to your students by email, and I explain the feedback process in another video. When you're happy, you can click on Save to save your selections. The next option is to specify a list of students in advance. Now, in this case, it's very easy to copy and paste from a spreadsheet. So you can, again, just specify which kind of information you want to include, and then you can copy and paste from a spreadsheet. The final option is to get students to log in with Google or Microsoft, and in this case, their students will have to visit this address here, zengengo.com/student/register, and then they will have to input the join code. Okay, in this video I'm hoping to briefly explain and demonstrate each of these options. So first I'm going to show the anonymous submissions option. I'm just going to click on Save here, Anonymous Submissions Save. Now if I go back to my folder and I click on the cog next to any assignment that I've created and I click on View as a Student, we'll see that now this goes straight to the assignment submission. Now if I record something and submit it, we'll see what happens. Okay, I just recorded a response and I can see that my response was received, and the student has a chance to download a copy of their response. But if I go back to the teacher screen and I refresh, I see that I have 2 submissions. If I view that submission now, I will see that the submitter is a guest, and we have no other information about the submitter. So in anonymous mode, you can still review the submissions, but you don't know who submitted them. Okay, that's anonymous mode. Okay, I'm back on my submission settings screen, and this time I'm going to click on Collect Student Details on Submission, and I'm going to check student ID number and email. Click on Save, and I'm going to view the same assignment again. Click on the cog icon and View as Student. This time, I can see that the student is required to input their name, their ID number, and their email address. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in that information. Okay, so I have filled in my information, and for the ID and email, the student has to input twice to try to reduce the possibility of making a mistake. Click on Next. Now, okay, I'm getting this message because I've already submitted under this name. So one of the features of the system is that the student can only submit one time. So I have to submit it under a different name. Okay, and I'm now able to submit the assignment. Now I'm back on the submission settings page, and for the next option I'm going to specify a list of students in advance. Just to save time, I'm going to just only specify a name. I'm going to add a list of names, so I'm going to say Paul, John, Ringo, and George. Okay, click on OK, and that will add the submitters to my folder, just the names. Okay, if I click on Save, that will save the settings. Now I go back to that submission again, and this time I will see that the student simply has to select their name from the list. So it makes it really easy just to have a list of names. The student can just choose their name and then click on Next to submit the assignment. You can see now that the options are grayed out, and this is because I've already specified a list of submitters. So if I want to change the option now, I would need to remove the submitters from the system before I can change the option. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, and we can see now that the option is available to click again. The final option is to require students to log in with Google or Microsoft. This process is a little more involved in detail, so I'll go into this in more detail in another video. Okay, thanks very much.